Okay, now if we do that transition into and go into women who help shape your life,
Mm-hmm.
um, coming out of that, I think I've got to go back to you for a minute, Ruth, because I think you had something specific
Okay.
that you
Okay.
probably wanted to say about dream women.
No, not necessarily. I just thought it was a great topic.
Okay. Well, I'll probably go back to you.
Well, I mean, I figured we'd be
Y'all.
going
How
back
do
and
you want to get
forth.
started
So,
on that?
do what?
How do you want how what was in your thoughts about getting started on that?
On what?
This from the series.
The what?
From the series.
Oh,
From his series.
again, I just thought it was a great topic. The fact that that he is, it's not something that you hear often, not something that, it, especially from a church perspective, we're, I came out of a Pentecostal background. And like I was telling Victoria, the fact that my hair looks like this, I'd
Right.
be condemned in certain certain
Right.
churches.
Right.
So to hear that, to talk about that, to know that, you know what, it doesn't matter what I look like, I am equal in God's eyes,
Hmm.
Right.
and I
Right.
ought
Right.
to be in everybody else. And I thought that that was
Gotcha.
great. Let me
Okay.
put it that way.
Okay.
All right,
That's
everybody.
what you
Are
can
we
say.
all set to go?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yes, we are.
Ah,
We're all in our places with bright, shiny faces.
Yes.
all together now. We're all together now.
All right. Here we go. You guys have a good one.
thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Authors Up. I'm here with two wonderful, wonderful ladies. What in the world have you put on your head?
It's my Mother's Day bonnet.
Okay, yes. For our listening audiences, she now has a hat on her head.
Yes, this is my Mother's Day bonnet.
Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is one of those shows where you got to pay attention every single moment because when you take your eye off the camera and turn back around, there's a surprise waiting for you.
Yep.
It's a tribute to my mother. My mother always wears hats, but I'll talk about it. But this is my Mother's Day hat.
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day to
Happy
all the
Mother's
lucky
Day to
mothers.
Wow.
you.
It is a beautiful hat.
It is.
Thank,
I
And
know,
you are beautiful with it.
and
thank
had
you.
I known, I would have worn my mother's gloves. I didn't know we were,
Exactly. I
know
couldn't
we
find a
were doing
glove.
apparel tributes to moms tonight. So I'm a little unprepared, but
So I
thank
couldn't find the gloves. I couldn't find the gloves.
oh, okay, Victoria. We appreciate you more than you know. More than you know.
Ah,
Angela Oliphant has joined us from South Carolina. And Angie, you just became just ordained a minister at your church
yes, congratulations.
to pray for Authors Up and those who are part of the hosts. Just feel free. Just have at it, okay? Okay, that'll help. That'll help us stay together.
Ah.
Boy, I tell you, there's always something when I say that there's always something going on at Authors Up. I didn't know that I really meant it to this degree, but we thank you for joining us tonight, those
Yeah.
who are in podcast land and those who are going to be coming in on Facebook. We thank you for being with us this evening. We do have a great show planned for you. Some things you may know, some things you may not know. And we just appreciate you being with us and appreciate you being a part of the Authors Up family and the family here at ALH Broadcasting. There is Trelyn. Trelyn, just welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Our program tonight, the way that we always do, and we're gonna have our weekend review. And I'm gonna ask you to get started, Ruth, so that some of us can kind of pull it in.
Okay. Well, follow that. No, I had an awesome week. Specifically, I had an awesome Friday because my baby, who is 22 years old, just graduated college. So, yay! Yes.
Baby, out of college.
Yeah. So it was exciting to be there. Mainly because when she graduated high school, that was just a fiasco. So it was good to actually show up to her college graduation, to be present, and to be screaming and embarrassing her, but she wasn't embarrassed. So it was good. It was a good thing. Yes, no, it's exactly what we do. So we spent the whole day with her and her boyfriend, and it was my immediate family was there, and we just got to hang out with her, which was really good because she'll be leaving in 2 weeks for basic training. So,
Man, I can't even believe it.
Mhm.
It's gonna be gone in a minute, boy.
I know.
Which branch of the service is she going in?
Army. So she is headed out to Oklahoma to do her basic, and then we believe she'll be stationed in Arizona.
She's gonna be stationed in Arizona
For a while. You
Wow.
know, that's what they do.
What part of Oklahoma? I have a friend in
don't
Tulsa. Oh, okay. All right.
Is he going? Is Jonathan? Is he going?
He enlisted as well, but he'll be coming down to Fort Liberty here in North Carolina.
Okay. All right. They'll make it work. They'll make it work.
Awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
Yeah. So we are
Very good. Very good.
and just looking forward to seeing them before we see them off. So
yes. Yes. Wow.
Good deal. Good.
Huh.
And that was it for you for the week. That was your
well,
high.
I mean, that was
That
enough.
was a good
Right?
one.
highlight
That
for
was good. That was it.
Absolutely.
So,
And Queen Victoria in your crowning glory down there.
Yes, my hat. Last week I wasn't feeling so great. Matter of fact, I missed 4 days of work out of the 5-day work week and managed to pull it in on Friday. It was so tired when I left, but I just thank God. That's why I'm so happy today because I'm starting the week not feeling like I was last week, and so I thank God for healing. I just thank him for bringing me through. This hat is in honor of my mom. So she signs on, Lois Henderson. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. She always went to church with a hat and her gloves and her brooch.
Awesome.
So my jewelry today is the brooch. But I just said, let me put her the hat. It's Mother's Day show. Tribute to my mom.
That is definitely a church hat too.
It is. I've never worn it. It still have the tag in it too. So I said, I'll wear my hat today.
How do you all like the hat versus the fascinator?
the what?
The
What's the
little thing that goes on the side of your head.
Just like a piece. I rather a whole hat myself.
Hat.
If I'm gonna wear a hat, I want a whole hat,
You want to
And I don't know what all these little things on it, but it's on there.
What about you, Ruth? You're neither one, right?
Ruth ain't wearing no
No, I
hat.
don't wear. I wear ball cap when I go running. That's about it. That is the extent. You will never see me in a hat like that. Ever.
Wow.
It just my head
Wow.
is not made for hats. So
Your head is not made for that.
it's not.
Okay, all
It is
righty.
not. So
Angie and Trelyn out there, if you can answer, which do you prefer? The little fascinator kind of net side thing, or the show enough for show church hat like Victoria has on? Just
Angie said hat. Angie said hat.
they have.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Kanisha, you can answer as well if you would like. Yeah. Let us know. That's an interesting thing. Oh, Trelyn says it depends on our fashionista. Trelyn says it depends on the occasion.
Vacation. Exactly.
Okay.
Well, how was your week? That was it for me. Just thanking God for healing, so I'm good. How about you?
All right. I will have the same week in review until the 11th of June. Because that's all I'm doing. That is all
Okay.
that I'm doing is working towards that. Madison and Genesis say hello. Those are my little God babies. Oh, tell them
Oh,
hello to them. One day I'm going to have them on one of the shows because they really, really like. They wanted to know whether I had scribes. That's what they said one day, and I thought, what did they tell me? They meant subscribers.
oh, okay.
all right now. Well, hello to them.
I think they're 8 years old now, so
All right.
they're sweet little ones. Let me see what else we got. Oh, one of the things that I did, and I'm going to talk about this, and I guess this is okay to talk about, but in prep for the program, I was looking at things that happened in May.
Okay.
And I wanted to read some of them to you. Now, some of them we're aware of, and that's
Right.
like Cinco de Mayo and Nurses Month, Nurses Week, Nurses Day is all in there. I didn't know about Deaf Awareness Week. I didn't know that was in May, and I didn't know that Victoria on the 12th is National Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. So
Yes, I did know that. Yes.
you knew about that one.
I
But
did.
then there's some other things that I thought were interesting, like Blueberry Cheesecake Day.
Lord, I never heard that one.
Cheesecake Day. Can you believe it? Sunscreen Day. There's a Hamburger Day, a Paperclip Day. Now, this one interested me because it was an Eat What You Want Day.
Oh man, and I
Oh,
missed that.
we missed that.
That was on the 7th. So mark it on your calendar for next year. We want to look up the Eat What You Want Day. National Day of Prayer, of course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Care of that. But I didn't know, and this is for my grandson, that day was also Star Wars Day.
Yes,
Okay,
may
I
the
knew
force
that.
be with you.
Yes.
Yes. He was a big fan of Star Wars. So there's some crazy stuff that goes on. I see there was here's one. Lost Sock Memorial Day.
I love that it's a Memorial Day. It's like we're not even gonna go look for it. It's just lost.
So remember it and move on.
What else can you do? Can I tell you that, and I am that person. My kids always like wore mismatched socks. And I was like, I cannot do that. I cannot. I can't put a pink one on and a green one on. I cannot do that. So now I have one pink sock and one green sock, and I hold on to them because the minute I get rid of it, the other one will appear. So,
But did it need a whole day so we can remember the old socks?
Hey,
well, what else are you gonna do?
apparently. Trelyn brought something up. She said, "Isn't it Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month?"
I don't know.
I did not find that in the things that I looked at, Trelyn. It may very well be, but you know what else I noticed, and we were talking about this before the show. It depends on what list you look at.
Mhm.
Right.
Because everyone I looked at, none of them had the same thing all the way through.
No,
So
and I saw another one that said
right.
it's Latino Book Month.
Is it?
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just like, okay,
I didn't see that. I didn't see
yep.
that either. And
Did
there,
you see a National Mimosa Day?
yes, there
I don't
is.
like mimosas, so
Well,
I'm
then
okay.
you
I
hopefully
can
don't
go. I can go
celebrate.
with blueberry cheesecake. So if I don't like
Blueberry.
the mimosa,
I
I'll
don't
just go
like
with the
the
cheesecake.
blueberry though, but I could go with the cheesecake.
Well, look, Mimosa Day is also National Barbecue Day.
I could
Okay,
go
we
with.
can do
So we
that.
need to
I could do turkey barbecue
so we
and
can
some
get the
Hirsch
barbecue
turkeys.
sauce from Jenna's barbecue.
Yep.
Yes, yes, some beans and Hirsch purpose.
And one
Okay.
coming up too is HIV Vaccine Awareness Day.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
another
Wait
one.
a minute, my eyes seeing correctly when I see. I'm looking at it says Paperclip Day.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And that's for all of you who are working and think that those paper clips belong to you.
So what are we supposed to do? Bring them all back that we have ever borrowed?
Take them all home.
Or, if you're like me, we have over 20,000 paper clips in the office because they were ordered. Um, they were just ordered incorrectly. So now we have
Yeah.
20,000 paper clips that no one will probably ever
Oh
use.
my gosh.
So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
So good time. Good time to be thinking
yeah,
about that.
yeah.
But
Wow.
there are a couple of them tonight that we really wanted to mention, and Ruth's going to talk
Yes,
about that. Of course,
of course.
Victoria started us off in that vein, but Ruth, go ahead and share as you choose, my lady.
Of course. And we know that the two most prominently observed ones for May are Mother's Day and Mental
Mhm.
Health Awareness Day. And, I'm not going to go into the history of either one. I think it is important to note both of them. And I think it is important to note both of them together.
Right.
Um, and we live, I think, in a time where we're seeing change happen. And it's a lot, it is slow. We live in a society where women have been taught for the longest time that we need to be super women and moms need to be super moms. And that's just not the case. And oftentimes we need to stop and we need to acknowledge that no, we are not going to have perfect families. We're not going to have perfect kids.
Right.
And we need to, and we're not going to be perfect moms, and I think that we need to acknowledge that moms need to have a good mental health um, life, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So, I think it is important, to all the moms out there, to anyone who calls themselves a mom, I want to say happy Mother's Day. But I also want to say, you know what, make sure that you're taking care of yourself because you deserve
Right.
that.
That's
You,
right.
if we go back to that analogy on a plane, if the oxygen mask comes down, you need to put it on yourself first so that you can take care of those who are with you. You
Right.
know, if you're
Exactly
sitting
right.
there holding your breath and you can't, you pass out, you're not gonna be able to help them. And it's the same thing with mental health. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not paying attention to how you're feeling, to your emotions, to all of that, you're not gonna be any good for your kids and for your family. And I'm can
Right.
testify to that. So I just want to acknowledge moms and moms and mental health together and to say, make sure you're taking care of yourself because you deserve it.
That's right.
Mm,
Good, very good.
Very well said, Ruth.
thank you.
And Trelyn came back and reminded me there are actually two other um, uh, awareness days that we didn't really mention, and they have not yet become national holidays. But that's
Hmm.
Lynn's birthday and
Oh,
Angie's birthday.
what's the second one?
Angie,
Oh,
Angie,
see, okay. Yeah, no, we'll have to make sure that we're plugging that and making sure that it's getting the attention it
that
needs.
it deserves.
Yes, yes.
And she also came back and corrected and said MS Awareness Month is in
Okay.
March,
The
not in
May.
May. So
Okay.
we are all straight with that. We got that all done.
Okay, can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Sure.
Well, we're and speaking about mental health. We're now in the era where it's more fashionable, to go for counseling and different things. What would you have done better, do you think, if as you were, with your kids, would you have maybe done counseling earlier on if it wasn't so stigmatized? Or what would you have done to take care of your mental health?
I perhaps would have acknowledged it a lot sooner than I did.
Mm-hmm.
I would start there because, again, and if you want to read my book, When Love is Angry, available at all Amazon and online bookstores. Um,
Good plug.
Get the book. Get the book.
get the
That's
book,
right. Get that
yes.
book.
No, yeah. So I state that I had my first episode when I was 15, but I didn't get diagnosed until I was 30. So that's 15
Right.
years that I dealt with that stigma, that I dealt with the shame, that I dealt with the um it just I couldn't say anything. So I feel like if it was more fashionable, quote unquote, back then, I would have acknowledged it sooner and maybe sought out help sooner.
Right. Right.
That, and oftentimes, even when I first went to my doctor, she was surprised and stated, she's like, "You are very lucid for someone, this isn't normal." But what she didn't know was that I had to work myself up for many months before I was actually able to find the courage to say, "Hey, I need help." So,
Right.
Mhm.
And,
Wow.
and, and for me too, at having children who I've had to ensure that they've had counseling. I wish that I had had counseling. I lost a very dear friend at 16, and that was the first time I had dealt with death, as did my classmates. And now they have the grief counseling, but they didn't have it back then. And I was not okay for a long time,
mhm,
but probably into my adulthood, be honest, but it wasn't available for us
mhm,
back then. So I'm really glad to see the changes in mental
mhm,
health for all ages, from
right,
children up to adulthood to seniors, because each set has different things that will bother them. But these children today need the counseling. So I just encourage anyone out there listening, if you feel there's something quite not right with your child, seek counseling, because it really can help.
Mhm.
yep,
Mhm. Good, and a very good point to make. When I think about it, we there's so much that our young people deal with today that
Right.
is just wasn't on the radar.
mm-mm,
And I'm not saying that a lot of these things didn't go on or that they didn't happen or anything like that, but there's some things were just kept under wrap, and we weren't open about a lot of things. This issue of my truth and transparency and all of
Right.
that are just not words and terms that we used, and
Right.
definitely actions that we took. So it is, and I agree with you, Victoria. It's all change definitely is not bad.
Right.
This
right,
those are some good changes that have been made, and I'm thankful for them. And
mhm,
this is a month also um, that I think, and you guys can answer this too. Are you are you a stickler for Mother's Day is for mothers who birth, women who birth children,
Hmm. No.
versus Mother's Day being a time to celebrate women, because women birth a lot of things, not just
Right.
children.
Right.
Uh, where are you on that, Ruth? Are you a mother only, birth mother?
I mean, not birth mother, because I mean, obviously, you have adoptees in there, you have godmothers, you have
Right.
anyone who's in a mother
Role.
in
Wrong.
a
Right.
role.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be that person because I remember this one training I was in, and it happened to fall near Mother's Day, and the woman was like, "Oh, happy Mother's Day to even the men who mother." I'm like, "Yeah,
Well,
but you just."
I hate
So,
that. Yeah, I absolutely hate that. I hate that. And on Father's Day, saying, happy
uh,
Father's Day to those who are mother and father. I absolutely can't stand that. I really can't. But that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother.
But so we are more on the line of those who fill the
Who?
women who fulfill the role
Right.
I
of
think
mother, the
so,
nurture,
and I think it's another
guide.
opportunity, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say that, and this might be controversial to some people. I think it's another opportunity to celebrate women,
Right.
and I'm all
Right.
for that.
Right. Right.
An opportunity to what?
Celebrate women.
Okay, you are right on there with Angie. Angie said Mother's Day is for all women.
Yep.
Said especially this auntie that I know.
Right.
Not men, just women. Not
That's
men.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. Those who fulfill that mother role,
Yeah.
there's aunties who haven't given birth, but they've stepped right in and raised those
Mhm.
children, And I assisted in raising my nieces and nephew, and didn't have children until I was 33. So phew, we do what we have to do. So it's a celebration, and I think we also have to recognize that I know several people in my life who've lost their moms within the last year. Maybe four people I could just name just quickly, and it's really tough. This is
Mhm.
not the best of days for everybody. So well, as we talk about the mental health piece, I encourage my friends, go talk to somebody if you need to, because it's just really tough. I know one of my friends, she posts all the time about how she's not okay, how much she misses her mom, and I know people might be tired of it, but I always try to encourage her, because she's actually reaching out. She's telling somebody, I'm not okay, I'm hurting. I'm not getting over this. This is like 4 months later, and I'm still hurting the same day her mom died. So we gotta look out for each other. So it's not an easy day for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Agree with that. None of the holidays are.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Thanksgivings.
All of it. Exactly.
There is attention brought to a time uh,
Yes.
where family or relationship is, you know, out there. Then it is an opportunity for people to have painful experiences.
Right.
Mhm.
But the good news is that things are more open now. People are
Yes.
more transparent now, and
Yes.
people are more aware now of
And
what
that is good
things
news.
are
Yes.
and what they mean. Trelyn says, "Give her liberty and space to grieve."
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
I don't want to. I want to kind of switch right here because I think this is a path that deserves its own program because
Mhm.
there's a lot that
Yeah.
can be unpacked in this, and I don't
Mhm.
want to be at a place where we don't give it justice.
Mhm.
And I do appreciate you and Trelyn, you and Angie commenting and being a part of this discussion because it's we all gain
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
that happens. But when we're
Yes.
talking about mothers and talking about women in general, we wanted to take a minute this evening to celebrate, through a mention or however you want to do it, somebody, a woman who made an impact on your life in some way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a mother, because
Mhm.
women guide and nurture and do all kinds of things um, that don't put them in under the motherhood umbrella.
Right.
But still do those things, and they still uh, make an impact in your life. Victoria, you have a person or a couple of people or whatever.
I got a few. I got a few. So we already at almost 7:30. So I'm just gonna name a few. Just I'm gonna go real fast. Of course, my mom. As I watched my mom go through the things that she's gone through, and most recently, my mom has cancer. She has chronic lymphatic leukemia, and she's been going through treatments. And she's almost 90, and she's gone through it with grace and dignity, and it's just something. And We have good news though. In July, she'll be taking her last treatment, and they say that she'll be able to ring the bell. That
Bell.
she'll
All
be able to
right.
sleep. So we just praise God for that, my mom. My sixth grade teacher, her name was Rebecca Armstrong. I was maybe 10, 11. And she just really made an impression because she was a grand lady. She was a grand lady. And she taught us things that I still remember, such as good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better best. And we would have to recite. Those were actually what affirmations, right?
Right.
Back then, she did that. Then my high school teacher, Miss Sims, she encouraged me to write. She would call me aside after class, and because she'd look at some of my stuff that I turned in class, and she would just encourage me. And she drilled that sentence structure in my head. Oh my gosh, how to do the dangling participles. Do y'all remember doing the little diagram? And where would you have to put the verb? They don't do that today, right? She drilled those things in my head. And then my choir director, her name was Sylvia Williams, and she instilled in me such a love for music, which I still, you guys know, I will think of a song for everything. And that she was a choir director, second to none. Last but certainly not least was Alice Lewis. She was the mother of my friend who died, and she just took me in. She took me, and I would go spend nights at her house, and she just loved on me. And I know that she loved me because I was so close to her son, but she also was very significant in my life. And I could go on and on and on. I mean, my sister, all my best friends, people in my life who have just impacted me in such a positive way, but they've all shaped who I am today. There's a little bit of me. And like I sing that song, I'm every woman. It's all in me. I'm every woman. You guys have inspired me and encouraged me. And, like I said, I could go on, but women are a force to be reckoned with. And I honor them all today.
Very good. Well
Okay.
spoken, Miss Victoria. Well spoken. What about you, Ruth? What you got? What you got? Who you got?
Well, I wanted to, and the sad part is I only remember her last name. She was Mrs. White. She was my high school art teacher. We had just moved from New Jersey to North Carolina, which was a culture shock itself. And I was able to find refuge in her art room. And
Oh,
she just took me in. She encouraged me. She taught, I mean, she had balance between the technique, between the art history, even, down to my penmanship, which people still compliment me on today. And it's just, like Victoria, there are things that I remember her teaching, talking to us about, and just it's shaped. Even though I don't illustrate, that's not the area of art that I went into. It made a difference having her in my life for those, I think, like 3 years. And I don't remember her first name. Mrs. White was her name, and she was just, she made all the difference in my life back then.
That's awesome.
okay, good, good.
Awesome.
Glad you had that.
It's
Thank
interesting that the people who did those things then,
you. Mhm.
you can see it now,
Yeah.
in the things that you do. Um,
Yes,
Angie mentioned Karen Rawls, prophetess Karen Rawls. She's out of
Hmm.
Kansas City. Myself, Miss Rayford, Miss Gilmore, and there are more. And
yes.
Trelyn, thank you. I appreciate that. Trelyn mentioned me as well. There is. I had a fourth grade teacher. Now, my mom she was a super quiet lady. I don't know where she got her loudmouth daughters from, but my mom was super, super quiet. And she taught me, and somebody made a comment to me about they thought that I was so articulate, but then they knew that, I was in theater, which just made me want to knock them into next week because it had nothing to do with theater training. My mom said, speak clearly and distinctly.
Mhm.
from the time I could open my mouth. Uh,
Wow.
and she would not let me get away with, when I've talked to people when I was in corporate America and would talk with uh, people who were responsible for writing for other people, drafting letters and things like that. And I would try to help them in that arena. And they would say, well, where I come from, everybody talk like this. You know, there is the King's English, and it will always be. It will always be. And whether you like it or not, you're also judged on that.
Yeah.
Uh, and So my mom, for not letting me get away with not speaking clearly and distinct.
Mhm.
Uh, but there was a fourth grade teacher that I had who took me to my very first play, and it was a musical, and it was My Fair Lady.
Mm.
Oh.
There, I can remember one particular scene, and it was the scene where they were at the racetrack and they were all in this beautiful gray. It was gray and white, and the long dresses and the hats and everything. And I was like, I mean, I had just never, ever experienced anything like it. And that, even to this day, I can remember the impact that that made on me. And from there, I went to see The Music Man, and
Mhm.
just all of the songs, the music, the costuming, and all that. And that really began my love of theater.
Mhm.
So much so that I truly believe that you have not seen theater unless you see theater in New York. So
Wow.
I took my niece to see Dreamgirls when it came out with the
Mm.
original cast. I took my nephew to see the Tap Dance Kid. I mean, took him, wanted to make sure. Now, I knew I had made an error when I took one of them to the National Theater, and they wanted to know, where the popcorn? So I thought perhaps I had moved a little too swiftly on that one. But even now, the things that I see, the things that I enjoy, and it's difficult for me to look at movies sometimes for the sake of the movie, because I'm always looking at the lighting, or I'm looking
Mhm.
at the fact that that stain was not on that dress in that last scene. Somebody
Yeah.
skipped that, and things like that. But it just gave me a love for the arts that has extended through now. So I'm very grateful to Miss
Yeah.
Simons. Her name is Miss Simons. So yes, Trelenz's teachers are amazing.
Yes,
They
they are.
are. They
Are
are.
they are. And in their National Teachers Day or something in the month, this month, I think there was
Was
uh,
Teacher Appreciation Week was last
teacher
week. I
appreciation.
believe.
Yes,
Teacher
yes.
Week. Hmm.
They need to be appreciated. They do, they do, they do. Okay, let's see, ladies. We got a couple of things. We had here something from your favorite author or
Yes.
poet or actress. We had that. Uh,
Mhm.
and we also had the issue of women and how they are treated, marginalized, and all of that, which is a little heavy, but
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be a conversation for another day. But
I'm
you know
thinking
what?
that too. That's a lot. There's a lot on that one. That's right around with the mental health, child. Woo-hoo.
No, you know what? And just to say briefly on that, and I'm the one who suggested it, because our bishop has been preaching on dream women and just how, God viewed us as not less but equal. We
Right.
are the
not less than, but equal to.
equal to. So,
Mhm.
as we celebrate women in this month, in this on this day, and even this month, I'm gonna just
Yeah.
take the
Yeah.
whole day. We need to celebrate each other. We need to just love on each other. Victoria, like you were saying, we need to support each other. And I realized March was women's, International Women's month. And we celebrate them then. But like I said, we this is just another opportunity to celebrate each other, to praise each other up. Whether,
Right.
for this one specifically, it's mothers. But you know what? Like you said, Andrea, we are all birthing something.
Something.
You know, it is,
Yes.
we have the potential
Yes.
in us, whether it is another little human being, or
Yep.
it is a dream, or it is a business, or a
Yep.
book.
Rebirthing myself. How about that?
I think it's just an opportunity for us to become dreams for us, dreams for someone else, because somebody else is watching what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
think that it's a beautiful thing.
Yep. Yep.
I love that.
Mhm.
What about you, Victoria?
What about me? What? Oh,
Favorite,
my authors, my authors.
or actress or
Oh,
something?
Yes, go ahead.
yes. I love Maya Angelou, Ruth Griffin, Andrew Hines, Lisa Jackson, and Dee Henderson. But I also love, absolutely love, Ayanna Van Zandt. These are all the books I got by her.
Ah,
These are all the books by her. And she has a book called Living in the Meantime, Learning to Break the Patterns of the Past and Begin the Healing Process. I got a few seconds. So, in the meantime is that time when you in between something that may have happened to you. And as you learn to heal and going on to, the next phase in your life. So in that meantime, she said, there's work to do. In the meantime, you get to deal with the pieces of your experience that you do not like, or at least are willing to understand. Understanding is the ticket through in the meantime. Every misstep you have ever taken may have led to this moment. You are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing in order to move on. This is the place you had to come to in order to bump your life up to the next level. The meantime is about pumping up the volume. In the midst of the meantime, it may appear that you're standing on shaky ground, but it's actually you're standing on holy ground. The meantime is grounded in truth. It is the truth of who you are, the truth about what you do, about what you want, about what you see, what you know, and about what you do not know. Further, in the midst of the meantime experience, there's a truth that your ability to recognize each of them, and it is this truth that ultimately determines how you make it through whatever you're going through. In the meantime, you are engaged in a healing process that your soul is signed up for because at the deepest level of your soul, you know that love is the only way to get you what you want. In the meantime, you will have to work through all your stuff.
In the
That's my
meantime.
girl. In
In
the
the
meantime.
meantime.
So I was going through, just going through at the time. And so I ate up everything I could put my hands on to help myself through the process. And I'm finding myself going back to some of those books and some of those affirmations and things. And because I'm in a little bit of in my meantime right now, but it's a good thing. And I have learned to take care of myself in the meantime. So
In the
that's
meantime.
yeah.
That's a good one. And I'm just very thankful that God will send us what we need through whatever way we need to hear it.
mhm.
And
Amen.
that's good. That's good. We are almost at the end of our program for tonight. We got a couple of minutes, and there is something that I want to read by Maya Angelou, and I it just it speaks to us,
Mhm.
all of us, I think. And it says, "You may write me down in history with your
Hmm.
bitter, twisted lies. You may
Yes.
prod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and
Hmm.
lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my very own backyard? You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs?
Come
Born
on now.
cuts of history's shame, I rise. Up from the past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the
Yeah.
hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
All right.
That's it for the night, guys. That is it.
I got 3 quotes I want to leave you with.
Okay.
So, the first one is by Charlotte Bronte. It says, "Avoid looking forward or backward, and try to keep looking upward."
Good.
Gail
Amen.
Tsukiyama, "Don't ever think that just because you do things differently, you're wrong." And this is my favorite one, Mary Shelley. These are all women authors, by the way. "Beware, for I am fearless and therefore powerful."
All right now.
And
Mhm.
powerful, fearless and powerful, and still I rise.
That's
Amen.
right.
That's it. That's it. Guys, I had a good time tonight. I hope
Yep.
you enjoyed
Yes.
Lynn and Angie and somebody else that posted in earlier. Whoever was on the line with us tonight, I thank you so much for being with us. If this was a program that you enjoyed, guess what? You can still share it. You can still tag somebody so that they can enjoy it as well. It will be replayed on Saturday evening at 7 p.m.
Yes.
So be sure that you listen to it again if you choose to, because there are always nuggets that you missed the first time around. So we appreciate that. June 10th is coming up. And yes, I'll be talking about it every time you see me.
Yes. Yes. We expect
Celebrate,
nothing else.
celebrate us, because still I rise.
That's right. And my outfit came. I'm ready.
All right, you
Yes.
ready? You ready?
Yes. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you all so much. Thank you for being with us tonight. And where can they catch us, Ruth?
We are, you can find us on Facebook and, sorry, my brain just stopped. Facebook,
SIBI?
Instagram, you just look up Authors Up Show. We do post the video up on our YouTube page. So follow us, subscribe, like our videos. You can also check us out on podcast, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
And that is it for us for
Mhm.
tonight. Thank you again, like I said, for being with us. You never know definitely never know what's going to happen on Authors Up, but it's always something that we pray will be enjoyable and inspirational for you. What's June 10th? June 10th, I'm celebrating 5 years in broadcasting, and we're going to do it here in the Raleigh area. Trillin, I had sent you something about it, but you know what? I don't mind sending it again. So, girl,
And we hope she could come. We hope she could come.
good. That would be great. It would be great. So that is it for us for the evening. And hey, celebrate being who you are.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Love you first.
That's it.
That's it.
Have a good evening, everybody. And I got you, Trillin. I'll send it out as soon as the show is over. Take care, everybody.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Good night, Bronze Girls. I love you. I love doing
Good
life
night.
with you.
Yay. So do I.